Have you got a business plan? If not, why not? It doesn't have to be complicated. Some business plans can be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages long. Some you can write on the back of an envelope. Today I want to talk about 5 simple aspects for a hypnotherapist to have in their business plan. And I guarantee you at least 2 of these you haven't thought about before. And if you stay with me till the end, I'll give you, I don't know what you call them, 3 attributes and 1 behavior that will really help you get your business plan up and running to help you grow your hypnotherapy business. So the 5 elements you must have in your hypnotherapy business plan: time, money, niche, content, and outreach. Okay, so let's start with time. If you don't have a full-time job, if you live by yourself, you have all the time in the world to work on your hypnotherapy business. But if you're working full-time, if you're working part-time, if you have kids, if you have a significant other, if you have a dog, you've got a house, all of those different elements take time to deal with, to live with, to have fun with. So you really need to sit down and be totally and completely and brutally honest with yourself. How much time do you have each week to work on your hypnotherapy business? Now, I had a client a few weeks back and she was telling me, well, I've got 35 to 40 hours a week, Paul. And I thought, actually, that doesn't really sound right, because I know you've got a part-time job, and I know you've got a family, a couple of kids, and I know you've got a dog. So I let her carry on for a little while. I said, look, you need to stop right now and be honest with yourself. It doesn't care about what you tell me. It doesn't matter what you say about me, but it matters what you tell yourself. You're saying you've got about 35 hours a week to work on your hypnotherapy business. Now, take into account all of the factors we've just been talking about. How many hours do you really have to work on your business? She took a moment, made a couple of notes, and said, actually, I've got about 15 to 20 hours. And that's fine. Now she knows exactly how many hours she can dedicate to her hypnotherapy business. And here's the important part. Once you've figured that out, those hours now need to become sacrosanct. They need to become sacred. They need to be used for one thing and one thing only. That is working on your hypnotherapy business and nothing else. Now, if you really want to push things forward, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. Some things may have to be put to one side so you can start to grow your business. For example, you might want to say to yourself, well, I've only got 10 hours during the week, but at weekends I could get up a bit early and go from 7 till 12 o'clock on a Sunday morning, which is an extra 5 hours to work on my business. My significant other, the dog and the kids in the house are all going to have to wait so that I can focus during this particular period of time on my business. Get this sorted, because everything else will not fall into place if you keep kidding yourself and saying you've got more time than you really have to work on your hypnotherapy business. The second point I want to talk about today is money. Not how much money you've got. How much money do you want to make? How much money do you want to make as a hypnotherapist? Have you actually sat down and taken the time to work this out? Because here's a little thought experiment for you. Let's say, for argument's sake and for the simplicity's sake, that you want to make an extra £10,000 a year, just 10 grand. Now, to make 10 grand a year, you are going to have to sell 1,000 items if you're selling them for £10. So say you're selling CDs or t-shirts or whatever it is, you're going to need to sell 1,000 of them for £10. Now, let's say that you are looking at what to charge for your sessions, if you're still selling sessions. Don't do that, by the way. If you sell a session at £100 per session, you are going to need 100 sessions sold to make your £10,000 a year. Let me say that again. If you're selling your sessions at £100 a go, you're going to need 100 of those every single year to make your 10K. Now think about this for a second. If you've only got 10 hours a week to work on your business, how many hours does that give you to do all the other stuff you need to do and sit with a client in a session? Now, if you're selling your services for £1,000, you only need 10 sales in a year to achieve your £10,000. Now, if you're in the coaching or high-end therapy business, you only need one sale £10,000 to achieve your goal. Now, a lot of people, a lot of gurus, a lot of internet marketers will say to you, it's just as easy to sell something for £10 as it is for £10,000. Complete and utter garbage. For 10 quid, most people aren't going to think about it. They'll spend more than that when they go to the pub for lunch on a Friday afternoon, or if they go out with a family on a weekend. But £10,000 is significantly more. That's a big chunk of change for anyone. And that's going to take more thought, more time to think about, to consider whether they actually want that thing, whether they need that service. So don't let anybody tell you that selling something for £10 is the same as selling something for £10,000. It's a complete and utter piece of fake news, fake information. So decide how much money you want to make and then break that down into what you sell your services for. And that will give you a good idea how many clients you need to attract every single month. Now, the next thing, the third thing I want to talk about is your niche. Now, I know you're going to say, Paul, I don't have a niche. I help everybody. Well, I hate to say this, that's not true. If you try and help everybody, guess what? You're probably going to help nobody. How can you become a specialist in a specific area if you don't have a niche? How can you be known as the expert on a particular subject if you don't have a niche? How can you use content to talk about how you help people if you don't have a niche? You must have a niche. Now, take your time over this. Don't just say, well, I'm going to go for this niche or that niche or the other niche. You need to do some research to figure out which niche is going to fit you, which one it isn't oversaturated, which one are you interested in, which kind of person do you want to work with. These are all things you need to consider when you start to pick your niche. So take the time to think about what area, what domain you want to be lord or master or mistress of. What is your niche? Now, leading on from that, I want to talk about content. You must produce good, useful, valuable content that entertains people. Now, shock horror, people do not go onto Facebook and to TikTok and to LinkedIn and to other platforms to be educated. They go to be entertained. And so your job as a therapist is to add a little bit of flair, add a little bit of what they used to call edutainment, provide education, provide value by entertaining people or through the medium of entertainment. How do I do that? By posting stuff that's interesting, that's valuable, and it is not boring. This is why you need the niche, because when you have a niche, when you become an expert in that niche, you know what to talk about, you know what's going on in that particular niche, you know what people are interested in, you know what pain points people have, you know what switches people on and turns people off. This is why you need the niche, because then the content flows from the niche. But you have to be entertaining. You have to really put some time and effort into creating good quality content. Now, a little kind of warning here. If you are using AI to create your content, stop it. I mean that. Because if you're just putting in simple prompts like write me 5 posts about anxiety, it will do that for you. But that's not in your voice, that's not in your style. It's going to be the same kind of material that every other person that's using AI to produce content in the anxiety niche is going to be putting out there. And I'm seeing this already. Therapists using AI, and it's starting to sound and look the same as everybody else's. Now, AI is brilliant. It's great for coming up with ideas. It's great for actually writing content if you give it detailed, informative, useful prompts for it to work from. And that's a complete whole other subject. But you must produce content. It's really critical, because how else can people get to know about you? How else can people get to find you? How else can people get to like you and know you and trust you? The last thing in my 5 is outreach. You must start reaching out to people to figure out if you can help, if they want your help. Okay, Paul, how do I do that? Well, we talked about content. If you are writing engaging, value-driven, and that's a word, yeah, but valuable, useful, entertaining content, people will start interacting with your content. They'll start commenting, they'll start liking, they may even start sharing your stuff. This is then a great way to introduce yourself to people on a one-to-one basis. You can kind of get involved in the comments, you can start talking to them via DMs, you can do a whole range of different things, but you must start reaching out to people. You know, build it and they will come doesn't work anymore. It's never worked, I don't think, yeah? You have to have this bank of content which you're adding to on a regular basis. This makes people find you, it helps them to see who you are, and from there you can reach out to people. You can go to various places on the internet and draw people from where they are into your world. And the more you do this, the more people will start to find you, the more you'll start to interact with people, and guess what? The more potential clients you'll start to reach. So that's the 5 things: time, money, niche, content, and outreach. Now, at the start of this video, I mentioned a couple of other things that I wanted to share with you. The first 3: consistency, frequency, and persistency. I didn't come up with this, but it's really, really important. You must be consistent. If you've got 10 hours a week to work on your business, every single week you must use those 10 hours on your business. If you're posting 3 times a day, you must post 3 times a day consistently. If you're only posting once a week, forget it. You're going to get missed. You're not going to get seen. I mean, you've taken your phone and you've scrolled through. How many posts do you actually pay attention to when you scroll through? Now, just imagine for a second you've only posted once in a week. What chance has anyone got of seeing your post if you only post once a week? So you have to post consistently, 3 times a day minimum, day after day after day after day. You must post frequently. Like I just mentioned, if you're posting once a week or once a fortnight or once a month, you have no chance. You've got to be posting frequently on a level that you can manage. Now, using your 10 hours a week, you can create content in bulk and have it ready to go. You can stick it all on your phone, and when you've got a minute, you can click send and away it goes. Persistency. Do not give up. Do not give up. If you are serious about making your therapy business work and grow and provide you with an income, you have to be persistent. But also, and I don't know why I have to say this, but I do, it means you have to do the work. There is no point playing at this. If you've got 10 hours to work on your business and you spend 10 hours watching videos, that is not working. I'm sorry, that's learning, and learning and working are 2 completely separate things. Ask yourself this question: is what I'm doing now gonna make me money? If you're watching a video, now if it's directly related to doing something like improving your content or how to do outreach better, then yeah, okay, I can accept that. But if you're just watching videos to learn how to get better at a certain thing and you've not had any clients yet, are you doing the right thing? Is that going to make you money? The answer, probably no. And the next thing I want to talk about, the final thing, we talked about consistency, frequency, and persistency. You have to be honest with you. You have to commit. I can't do it for you. The biggest guru names in the world can't do it for you. We can help, we can guide, we can assist, but we can't do the work for you. Look in a mirror. That's the person who's going to do the work for you, nobody else. So get serious, get down, get doing it, and have some fun. If you've got any questions about what we've covered in this video or any of my other videos, or you've got a general hypnotherapy business question, please drop a comment below or DM me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.